Hello, I'm Marcus Boston. Quick video today. I want to talk with you about why one family or why one person who contacted me regarding a potential birth injury investigation, why they were extremely mad at me. And so the purpose of this video today is to help you understand that if you are contacting a birth injury attorney like myself, some of the things that we have to do before we can give you an answer, or what we have to do when we're talking about doing an investigation as to whether the actions of a doctor or a nurse or a hospital, whether their actions or inactions is what caused your child's injury. All right, so let me back up. Let me try to help you understand a lot of what goes on into these investigations. And so the first thing that we have to do is we have to interview you and talk with you about what happened. We want to know some things, some background information. Like, for example, how was your pregnancy? You know, did you have any problems during pregnancy? Gestational diabetes? Were you able to make all of your doctor's appointments? Were there issues that you had during the pregnancy? And then from there, we want to move into your experience during the presentation at the hospital. If you gave birth in a hospital, what were things like during that process? Were there any problems then? Was there meconium in the fluid at the time when your water broke? Were there any issues in regards to the electronic fetal heart monitor? What did the doctors and nurses say, if anything, to you during labor and delivery? Were there any concerns that were mentioned to you then? Then once we get past that, now we're going to look at the birth. We're going to look at the delivery. Was the baby blue in color? Were there low APGAR scores when they did the umbilical cord gases? What were those results? Did the baby have to be taken to the NICU? All of these things and more are important when we're talking about doing an investigation. And once we get past that part, then we need the medical records. We've got to be able to see, what do the medical records say? We've got your story, we've got the facts based on the way the family saw everything and their interaction, but what was documented in those records? What did the doctors and the nurses note? What do they say? What are the readings on the electronic fetal heart monitor? Do we have late decelerations? Do we have bradycardia, tachycardia? What does variability look like? Once we do all of those things, then we may need to move to a medical expert. We may have to have experts to take a look at all of that information. We may need labor and delivery nurse experts. We may need OB experts. We may need a pediatric neuroradiologist. There's a whole host of people that we may have to talk with to get opinions as to not only the standard of care, but whether there was a breach or a deviation from the standard of care which caused the baby's injury or the harm. So the purpose of today's video is to help you understand that if you're thinking about contacting an attorney for an investigation to help you find answers in regards to what may have happened to your baby during labor and delivery, was this injury something that happened in utero? Was there a stroke in utero? Was there a developmental issue? Was there genetics? Or was there something that caused the injury? Was that due to birth trauma? Something that the hospital and the nurses or the doctors, that they failed to do. So that's the purpose of today's video, is to help you get an understanding of all the things and more which go into this process. If you have more questions for me, if you're watching today because your baby has suffered an injury and you have questions, maybe you have an HIE diagnosis and you're wondering about that, maybe your baby has a CP diagnosis and you are wondering about the challenges moving forward into the future with that, the phone number is on the screen. You can pick up the phone and give me a call. I talk with families about these types of issues all the time. We do investigations for families in regards to what's going on with their child. That is what we do. All right, before I leave, I want to also make sure that you understand that I'm an attorney. I practice law here in the state of Maryland, but from time to time, because we are on the internet, we do have individuals who will contact us and they're not in Maryland and they may have questions. If that is you, you just got to remember that we have to use local counsel. If there are issues outside of the state of Maryland, we have to get an attorney in your state, or what we call local counsel, to assist if this is something that we may be able to help you with. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth, injury, and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law here in the state of Maryland at Boston Law Group, LLC. And we will see you next time. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.